Time out is Kelsito, the spirit coach. Getting you in shape and form for the age of Aquarius yet again. Okay, and we're going to talk about why Kanye was right. Kanye was right. Kanye was right. Jews can be black. Jews can be black. Real shit. Kanye was right. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Jews can be black. Jews can be black. Now, you may look at me and say, how do you know that? And shit like that. And first thing you're going to go to is that Jewish people, before you're going to go to Jewish people. But first you got to realize that Jewish is something on its own first. It's a word, right? You know what I'm saying? So before we get to even calling somebody a word is we give titles and names to people. So technically, if you want to be real, you know what I'm saying, the word created the flesh. And then motherfucking God, I mean, they told y'all that in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? So, you got to actually use your mind and, learn how to see something, you know what I'm saying? For instance, if I call myself black, you know what I'm saying, that word is going to have baggage on its own and shit like that. But other than that, we're just using that word to describe a certain space or area that I may participate in as far as complexion with other people. You get what I'm saying? So it's more so we're talking about, we're trying to point to a specific thing. But if we talking about black, the color and things of that nature, anytime something is black, we know what that is. You know what I'm saying? So just because I'm up, when we look at it from face value, you getting a person that has darker complexion don't make me black. You get what I'm saying? I'm just more so we're using words to describe, you know what I'm saying, it could be location, area, a space, you know what I'm saying, and usually, or something that's like something, you know what I'm saying. Now, of course, so when we get to Jewish, you know what I'm saying, even the same thing with a tree, you know what I'm saying. So, a tree is something of it on its own, and there's a lot of things, you know what I'm saying. But for the most part, when you think of a tree, you're instantly going to emit a light or a perception of what a tree is. And that perception you're getting is what a tree represents. So, a tree could represent a lot of things like stability. A tree can represent going through the seasons, but still, being stable. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of trees is correlated to, we make money with trees and shit like that. So, it keeps a certain value in things of that nature. So so we are using words to identify race and shit like that, you know what I'm saying. Now, of course, we know about the story where actually, Jews spread it out through the lands and shit like that. Well, what they're calling Jews spread it out through the land, you know what I'm saying. That's how we got people like Drake, you know what I'm saying. That's how we got people like Drake. And where this is where we get that type of energy from, where you can be Jewish, but you can also be a black people. And, they're trying to make it about bloodline, but it's really, in the Bible, Jewish just means philosopher. Okay, so, you know what I'm saying? That lets you know that what they were calling Jewish back then was based on a certain lifestyle or intellect you had dealing with, what you're calling God. And what we call all possibilities and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because God makes everything possible. I'm aware, you aware, we make what's aware possible, given language, titles, and names and shit like that. And so forth. Okay, so Jewish just means philosopher. I got the red whistle today. I'm about to get on y'all last real quick. Hold on. Now, Kanye was right. Because, Jews can be black. You know what I'm saying? We got Drakes, but that's just on the operative level after we give things names. Now, what they were talking about was Jewish, as far as like in the Bible times and shit like that. Jewish just means philosopher. Okay, so specifically, any Jew, you know what I'm saying? Any Jew that you go on that got some scholarship and shit like that will tell you it comes from the word Judea. So Judea, you know what I'm saying, is basically, it's the tribe of Judah and shit like that, synonymous with the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? Also, they tell you it comes from the words like thankful and the words like praise. So, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you're in a space of being praising and thankful you're in that space for a reason. So why are you thankful? You know what I'm saying? So you're in appreciation, you're in praise, and or you're maybe receiving praise and shit like that. And they also tell you that this is correlated to the lion tribe of Judah, which would be Leo constellation and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Astrology is in the Bible, but you know what I'm saying? They might tell you this is correlated to the Leo constellation and the tribe of Judah. Hold on, I'm doing something, baby. Wait. This they might tell you this comes from the tribe of Judah and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, which is correlated with the Leo constellation and shit. So, you know what I'm saying, that's why it's 12 tribes and shit. One of them is Judah. We got 12 constellations. You know what I'm saying? So, so when we're talking about, a person becoming a Jew that's in a human form and shit like that, yes, they can become black because that's how we got Drake today. But when we're talking about Jewish and what the term means and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, and it means philosopher. So, like I said, it comes from the word Judea. Now, Judea comes from just being thankful, you know what I'm saying, or being, or praise, you know what I'm saying, if you get into like the etymology and shit like that. But we don't even have to really do that, you know what I'm saying. Judea is also correlated, you know what I'm saying, with Israel and shit like that. That's why they say Judah is in Israel, and Israel is correlated with the head, and the sun, which rules Leo, can be exalted in the head space and shit like that. Your temple and shit like that, Israel and things of that nature. So yeah, so this is when it, so when you understand, things from that nature and these words and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, to be thankful in general. Now, what are the Jews thankful for? You know what I'm saying? They're thankful for God. You know what I'm saying? That's any Jewish, any Jew that you come across, they'll be thankful for God. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know that these people like to be in appreciation and their idea of God. So they're a philosopher, and they philosophize and use their intellect to express what they think they're calling God and shit like that. So anytime you're in a praise spirit, this is when you're happy and you have a way to see something that you can be thankful about or light about. So that's why it's correlated with Leo, because Leo is action, entertainment, and it gives you a light to see something through. And this is when we get what Judean people are about. Okay, their intellectual property is God. This is their philosophy. This is their intellect, which is God. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know Jewish just means philosopher. And Judean, if you're a Judean people and shit like that, you're a part of that philosophy and shit like that, because they represent, the solar plexus and how to, how to see something and shit like that. But, to see, you have to see, you know what I'm saying? You can't not, you got to have the eye to see. Okay. So yes, that is true. So as long as you have a way to see and be thankful, you know what I'm saying, based on you, because it's either going to go one way. You're going to be thankful or you're not going to be thankful. Usually when you're thankful, you have something to be thankful about. So this automatically, by default, is going to put you in a certain intellect and a certain way to be thankful that you ain't got to go through what other people go through. You know what I'm saying? So think about the Jews. You know what I'm saying? Don't they seem blessed in their life? Don't they seem like... So now we getting on track now. So when we get into that space, and you know what I'm saying, you have a certain way to, you just have a certain intellect, and you're saying you authorize that, you create a language. This is how we got the Jews running shit today in society and so forth. Okay? So now getting back to Jewish and shit like that, and being thankful and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a certain thing to be thankful about. Now, where they may get you lost is what you're actually thankful about. You may be thankful about your clothes, you know what I'm saying, that they own. You may be thankful about this lifestyle that they built up. That they built up in the buildings and the nice positions that you got to get in, whatever. They teach you what is to be thankful about, but you don't have to have them to be thankful. You don't have to use their intellect or their mind to be in the space to be thankful as a spirit and a body. You know what I'm saying? So you can have your own light and understand this is something that we all do. And then once you understand that this is something that we all do, you can be in the space of God too and shit like that. And this is what makes you a Jew. So technically Kanye is right. So So that's what Jewish means. So it's true you can be a Jew too. Anyone, as long as you have some type of philosophy or intellect that can lead you into being thankful or being praised. You know what I'm saying? You know, and yeah, or have an intellect or have a certain philosophy about yourself and shit like that. All right. Now this is a disclaimer. All you niggas, this not to go and say, oh yeah, we the new Jews and shit like that. This not to be ego to do that. This not to be ego and be like, oh yeah, we the new black Jews and shit like that. No, it ain't about that. You know, when you have a certain specific knowledge and shit like that, and God see you in that space of having that knowledge, God know you have that knowledge, right? And so if you have that knowledge and shit like that, you can hold on, let me put this charger on and shit like that. My bad, y'all. But yeah, God know you got that knowledge, shit. God will make sure you never fall off that ledge and shit like that, because you know thyself. And anybody that know the shit you talking about is true, they're just gonna have to come to that conclusion themselves to fight you hard and shit like that. Because they're just gonna, anybody that opposes you is just gonna fight you, but they're gonna end up in a space of they're really fighting with themselves. And honestly, at some point they're gonna end up in a space where you're at and shit like that, looking from what you doing and shit like that. And that's when, you know what I'm saying, you can show people that the fight ain't with you and shit like that. It'd be with yourself and shit like that. But you didn't know. But that's why I'm here right now and shit like that, so I can help, you know what I'm saying, you know, associate this certain information so you motherfuckers can actually have some knowledge about yourself and not get it. So now, as far as when we get into why they blocked Kanye off of Twitter and Instagram, now that's something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to actually understand what the conversation is, what they're mad about. Are they mad at him saying that people are, Jewish people can be black? That's true. We have Drake and we have, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, is it the DEF CON and stuff like that? And even homeboy Michael Rappaport. Why you go off on him like that? Because the DEF CON 3, I thought it was pretty funny. It was like, you know, Kanye got a superhero. You like, I'm about to go Super Saiyan on your ass. It's kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like it being, being something else and shit like that, where it's like Kanye hating or something like that, and he being a rap, or, you know what I'm saying, he's saying he being anti-Semitic because he said the Jews can be black and shit like that. That's true. First of all, we have Drake, and then second of all, we got what I just broke down, which is what Jewish means. And Jewish just means philosopher, which comes from the word Judaidian, and that's to be thankful. And if you're a Judaidian and you're thankful about something, you're usually thankful about not being thankful about something. So you have a certain intellect about yourself to actually go in a space where you can be thankful, whereas other people do not. That sounds like some type of philosopher or intellect to me, that somebody knows how to move about themselves and shit like that. So what y'all mad about? You know what I'm saying? So like, what y'all blocking them for? You know what I'm saying? So I don't get that part. You know what I'm saying? I don't get why y'all exposing, you know, Kanye. But for the most part, I mean, not exposing, but trying to anti-Semitic him and shit like that. When I didn't really see nothing he said was wrong. Y'all need to get some people need to go on y'all too sometimes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, you know what I'm saying, Jews can, you know, like I said, Kanye said what Kanye said was right. So like I said, we got to start separating words from actual things and shit like that, because words are a thing on their own. We started calling things words. You know what I'm saying? We started calling things words. And these things started from early on, from things inside of ourselves, to things that we feel, feelings, thoughts. You know what I'm saying? They teach you in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? They teach you in the Bible. So, yeah. Now, like, where you may fall, let me just wrap it up after this. Now, where you may fall, like I said, where you may fall short competing with the actual Jewish people is based on, you know what I'm saying, how they set the world up in the actual Jewish people is that, you know what I'm saying, you have to be thankful to have a job. You have to be thankful to, you know, to have a nice car. And usually a lot of these people that are Jewish own these things. You know what I'm saying? That's actually the Jewish race. So, you know what I'm saying, if you're black, you may not be as thankful because your family ain't Jewish. and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you don't have God in your life too and shit like that. And you can have a certain way to go about some shit like your way as well, and call on God as well. You know what I'm saying? So anything other than that. Now they created that intellectual property, that's their property, but it's still all pointing to something that we all, have access to, and that is God and all possibilities. And yeah, and that's what I said. So you know what I'm saying, if you calling yourself a Hebrew, you know what I'm saying, you're actually practicing the opposite spell of that, you know what I'm saying, which would be the people that didn't have God in their life. The people, and not having God in their life, your life is just like not having knowledge of self in your life. And at that point, it's like, so yeah, this is my spill. You know what I'm saying? I'm Cito the Spirit Coach. I appreciate everyone for coming out. And get your ass in the game.